Oh man, I'm just so excited for you guys to be on the call for this amazing Saturday. For some reason, I thought today was Sunday, but I'm glad it's Saturday. I'm glad it's Saturday. So, uh, Mr. Thomas has asked me to lead the leadership call for today. And you know what? I'm moved on the topic. So I started this week off just busy here, there. And so I actually didn't get much time to focus on how I like to prepare for any trainings that I like to do. But you know what? I prayed on it, and I'm about to bring something that came about actually in the last, what time is it? 8 o'clock. In the last 10 hours. Mr. Foster was there when the light bulb went off because we had our Saturday training and overview, and we had a leadership training, and just based on all the topics that we discussed, and it spoke to me, and it aligned with something that I was already working on personally. So I really hope today's call really blesses you. I really hope it's something that really helps you and moves you in your business. And at the end of the call, I hope it really is something that we don't just want to say it, but it's something that motivates you to really move your business forward. So really want to kick things off. So today's topic, as I take a note out of Mr. Foster's book, if you're taking notes, today's topic, let me pull up the screen here, share screen. All right. Now, today's topic is, what do you tell you? Okay. So what do you tell you? Now, you'll see here in the image, tried to give a visual there, but what do you tell you? You know, every morning we wake up, Lord willing, we wake up, we stand in the mirror and we have these thoughts about what we see, what we're going to do today, what challenges we're going to be faced with, what we're going to look forward to do each day, how we're going to impact someone else's life, how we're going to push our business forward. But oftentimes we don't give ourselves the best motivation in the mornings. Sometimes we question certain things. And what I want to do is just, and I don't know if maybe it's just me, hey guys, this is leadership training. So, we will be interactive, let you guys know in advance, but maybe it's just me, but some of the questions that I sometimes ask myself, or have asked, or have heard other people ask, what do you tell you? Or not even questions, but statements that are said to yourself, things we say to ourselves in general, when it comes to this business, things like, oh, they're successful already, so they don't need ACN. Oh, I don't know all the details yet, so I can't talk to someone, I don't know them yet, or I won't be able to answer all of their questions. Now, thinking there's new people on the call and there's people who are seasoned on the call, but there's always questions that we just can't answer, and that's the reality of it. But when we say these things to ourselves every day in the morning, it puts us in a different mindset. Some other questions, oh, I can't enroll IBOs like Mr. Thomas. Woo, he's on fire, Oh, so that's those thoughts. What am I thinking? I can't really do this. Or I haven't made a lot of money, so I can't really talk to my friends and family. Like, yeah, I'm still waiting on my first check, or we've heard this one. They're gonna think it's a pyramid. These are the things we tell ourselves, we concern ourselves. Or, hey, they're gonna think I'm a fraud. I know some of us probably heard the phrase, think it or fake it till you make it, right? Well, sometimes people tell themselves, well, if I'm faking it until I make it, people might think I'm a fraud. I've got a few more here. What about, they're not going to take me seriously? Or they're going to think it's one of those things, whatever those things are. If they don't sign up, it's going to be awkward the next time I see them. I've showed them the business. They know personally what I'm doing, what my goals are, my why. things. We talked about some personal things, but now next time I see him, it's going to be awkward. So I don't know. Or I, I'm guilty of this one. I promise you guys, I got a lot going on. I'm busy. So, hey, I'll do ACN. I'll get to it tomorrow. Or maybe I'll wait till later in the day. And then the later in the day never comes, or tomorrow never comes because there's always another reason, another reason. Or, I'm tired and I don't have the energy to do ACN today. I spent enough time doing ACN. I feel like I've done enough for ACN. Like ACN should be paying me. Why am I not getting enough money from ACN, right? Or this one is one that resonates too, because I've actually heard this reason or excuse or something that they've told them. So, hey, I'm too busy. I'm traveling too much for work, or I haven't made enough yet, so I can't travel to Elevate Baltimore on June 23rd through 24th. Now, I want to ask you guys, show of hands, how many have heard one or all or some of these before, or even thought about some of these or one of these themselves while looking in the mirror at some point in time, right? I got both hands up. And so what do you tell you? That's why this is the topic, because when it comes down to the difference between the people who are successful in life and ACN, it all starts with what you're telling yourself. When you wake up, what is the mindset that you're setting? What is the tone you're setting for the day? And so this is leadership. This training isn't for everybody. Not everybody's going to get it. But what I'm hoping is what you see is that there is something that you have to start looking at, how you're speaking to yourself, because the little small things of the I can't, I won't, I'll wait, maybe later, these are the things that are hindering us from reaching our full potential in our lives and other goals and everything, things that goals that we set for ourselves in our lives, and also within the ACN business. So it actually reminds me of a story I heard recently. There was a lady, she was in college, and she wanted a pet, to have a friend while she was in school, and she chose a snake, a boa constrictor specifically. She just wanted a boa constrictor of all pets, but this is what she chose. She went to the pet store, she bought a boa constrictor, and that boa constrictor, she bought the tank, she bought the vegetation and everything. But after having that snake for about 3 years, one thing that some might know about snakes is that they shed their skin, they shed their scales, right? They do that periodically. Now, one thing that you may not know is that boa constrictors actually shed the skin over their eyes. So she noticed that her snake was not shedding the skin over its eyes. So she took the snake to the vet. The vet said, you know what? This can't be a boa constrictor. The snake is too small. It's way too small. Something's not right. And eventually the vet asked she asked this lady, what size tank are you keeping this snake in? And she said, oh, about a 30-gallon tank. And he said, aha, that's it. Boa constrictors grow to the growth based on their environment. That's how they grow. And it reminds me of us. When we surround ourselves in our environment by things that are not elevating us or allowing us to grow, we're only hindering ourselves, just like that boa constrictor that should be 13 feet long, weighing 100 pounds, but instead we're 7 feet and only 45 pounds. So this environment, this mental state that we're surrounding ourselves in, it's just like that. And so what I want to encourage everybody is to really think about the things that they're waking up and sharing with themselves as they look in the mirror or throughout the day, and really think, how can you start changing that? And so what I want to do really quickly is I want to play a video. And this video is, I say it's for my personal archive. It's not really. It's just one of the videos that I listen to that helps motivate me when I'm getting ready to go to a meeting and maybe, I've got a little frustrated during the day or I'm just really tired and I just need that boost, that pick me up. So I have a handful of videos that I like to listen to personally. And I just want to let you guys in on one that I really like. And it hits deep for me. It resonates with me. And when I finish listening to this, this video is about 10 minutes, but I want you guys to stick with me because I'm going to cover something that is going to be very, very key. And it's going to close it all up for us. So one thing is just pay attention to it, stick with me, but it's really important to think, and while you listen to it, think about what are some of those things that you say to yourself. So here, let me share my screen again.
The reason people change is because of pain. The reason we grow is because we get uncomfortable and we embrace being uncomfortable. But being honest with the pain that we feel is usually the prime mover for people to do the work that is necessary.
Average person, you and I have about 75,000 thoughts a day rattling around in this thing we call our brains and our minds, 75,000 of them. The crazy thing is 91% of those thoughts are identical to the previous day and are identical to the day before that and the day before that and the day before that.
You're not a procrastinator. You have a habit of procrastinating.
And so most people never take the time to analyze what they think about. The most successful people I know are the most self-aware, meaning they're aware of what they do and they're also aware of what they think, they're aware of how they're perceived.
But people like to give themselves this excuse. I do not have the energy to do this. Whatever. If you decide that, that's true. But if you watch a motivational video, there's 100 of them on YouTube, thousands even. You go watch one, you'll get fired up. You're like, I'm gonna jump some rope. You jump some rope, you do something. Just do some push-ups, do something, do some body weight squats. You'll feel better. Some of them maybe, but I think some of them just don't have discipline. There's an issue with that as well. There's also an issue with momentum. You're not used to doing it. It's not a part of your life. It's not something that you're accustomed to pushing yourself. There's been many days where I didn't want to work out. I just didn't feel like I had the energy and I just forced myself. And I think there's very few people out there that know how to force themselves.
And we wonder why our life seems to repeat itself over and over again. So really the difference in our life, if we have 75,000 thoughts a day, here's the crazy thing, 91% of them are exactly the same. The separation in our life is in those 9% of their thoughts, because remember this, these magnets are pretty powerful. That's why I'm always saying that your obsessions become your possessions, because they do. You draw into your life exactly what it is you think about. It's a physical reality that you attract to yourself what you think about. So the difference in our life is 9% of our thoughts. That's why people say all the time the difference between winning and losing is so small, it's almost too scary to talk about. And really we've identified what it is. It's 9% of what we think about alters the direction of our life. So what I'm here to tell you today is you've got to hone in and get aware of what you think about and then alter those 9% of the thoughts that are variable on a daily basis to serve you.
And you know, people are very, 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 very tough. And it turns out that if you face things, that you can put up with a lot more than you think you can put up with, and you can do it without becoming corrupted. You have to be alert when you're suffering. You have to be alert to the beauty in life, the unexpected beauty in life. And you know, you have to look for those that little bit of sparkling crystal in the darkness when things are bad. You have to look and see where things are still beautiful and where there's still something that's sustaining. And you know, you narrow your time frame and you be grateful for what you have, and that can get you through some very dark times.
Our belief system is based upon our evaluation of something. Frequently, if we reevaluate a situation, our belief about it will change. I began reevaluating who I was. I started to study. I never stopped studying. And I found as I reevaluated, I had a much higher opinion of myself. I found out things about me that I would have never believed if you had told me. The power that's locked up within us, the marvelous system we've got. Do you know the blood circulates through your veins every 33 seconds, through hundreds of miles of passageway? Bang, just like that, clears all the food in and all the garbage out. Stop and think of the central nervous system. It's the most complex electrical system in the world. And you've got it. Think of your brain, an electronic switching station like that. You can change the vibration of yourself and everything around you. We have awesome powers, and it's all based on what you believe about you.
If you want to change yourself, If you want to acquire something, if there's some goal that you want to reach, changing your behaviors, overcoming negative habits, it's challenging. It's hard. Most people go through life never discovering what their talents are. Most people never develop their talents.
The only thing that's going to make you happy, my friend, in this year or any other, is to step up. It's to raise the standard. It's to discover what you're capable of and feel that incredible power pushing through whatever's holding you back and get to the other side of more of your true self. That's what this game's all about.
When you step into your fears and continue to push yourself to go on, something happens for you.
If you look at somebody who's really successful and you think, wow, I mean, they're so amazing, they're such a genius, you gotta dig underneath and you gotta remember something. People are rewarded in public for what they practice for years in private.
If you don't develop the courage to do that which has been given you to do, and you spend a lot of time going around trying to convince other people or trying to get their approval, what will happen is that you will lose your nerve. And other people will convince you that what you're doing doesn't have any value, and you'll give up on your dream. How much time do you have left? How much time do you have left?
Jeremiah said, "Your word, O Lord, is like fire shut up in my bones." I believe there are some dreams shut up in you. Like fire, you're going to feel your destiny calling out. May not have happened the first time. The loan didn't go through. You didn't get chosen for the part. The medical report wasn't good. That's okay. This is a new day. What God started, He's going to finish. You may have missed some opportunities, but God knows how to make up for lost time. He's going to give you another chance. He said in the book of Joel, "I will restore the years that have been stolen."
Progress equals happiness, and if we can make progress on a regular basis, we feel alive. And that's why at the beginning of the year, we get this thing like, okay, I can have this fresh start. I could really do what my soul desires. I could expand. I could grow. I could improve. I could change. Or maybe better than change, I could progress. See, think about that. Progress is an aliveness to it, doesn't it? You don't have to work at changing. People say all the time now, well, I'm working on changing. Don't worry about it. You don't have to work on changing. Change is automatic. Your body's going to change whether you want it or not as the years go by. And no matter how hard you work, there's going to be some changes going on there. The economy is going to change no matter what you want it to do. The weather is going to change. Relationships are going to change. Everything in life is always changing. We don't have to work on change. Change is automatic, but progress is not. So if you want to make real progress, then you really got to look at your life in a different way. You got to say, I got to take control of this process and not just hope it's going to work out like people do who make a resolution.
You may have lost years because somebody else put you at a disadvantage, or years because of your own choices. God knows how to make up for it. He's still going to get you to where you're supposed to be. This is what happened to Joseph in the scripture. God gave him a dream that one day he would rule a nation. In this dream, he saw his brothers bowing down before him. Joseph should have used more wisdom and not told his brothers that part of the dream. Certain things you should keep to yourself. Some people can't handle what God's put in you. They won't celebrate you, they'll be jealous, find fault, and be critical. One day Joseph went to see his 10 brothers. When he walked up, one of them said sarcastically, "Here comes the dreamer." They weren't upset because he was their father's favorite child. They weren't upset because he was wearing a coat of many colors, a coat that represents favor. They were upset because he had a dream. They were offended because he was determined to break out of the mold, to do something great, to leave his mark. They would have been fine if he was content to be average, to accept the status quo. But when you stir up what God's put on the inside, believe that you have seeds of greatness, believe that you can overcome that illness, break the addiction, pay your house off, be blessed in spite of past mistakes, let me warn you, everybody will not celebrate you. When you have a dream, you're going to have some detractors. People will get jealous, try to make you look bad, try to talk you out of it. Say things like, "You really think you can get that promotion? You don't have the experience, the talent." "I don't think so." You really think you're still gonna get married? You've tried 3 times, hadn't happened yet. You're getting kind of old. Let that go in one ear and out the other. People don't determine your destiny, God does.
You have to own your own happiness. Take it away from other people demanding that they make you happy. Your kids are not going to make you happy. Your spouse is not going to make you happy. A big house is not going to make you happy. Own your own happiness and be responsible for doing those things that bring joy into your own heart, independently of life and people and money and all of that stuff.
Right.
It doesn't necessarily give you a happiness. You have to take responsibility of that peace and that joy that lives inside of your heart and not inside of your stuff.
That's what hope is. Imagining and then fighting for and then working for what did not seem possible before. That's leadership. John F. Kennedy didn't look up at the moon and say, oh, that's too far. There is a moment in the life of every generation when that spirit of hopefulness has to come through if we are to make our mark on history.
But how real is the message that you're putting out? How authentic, how valuable is the product that you have? You know, are you expressing yourself as fully, authentically, passionately as you possibly can?
Fewer know how to sell, almost no one knows how to close. When you can close anyone at any time, it means that you have the ability to generate revenue at any moment.
You can't be what you can't see. If I never meet a billionaire, I wouldn't want to be one. Because I wouldn't know what that feels like. I don't know what it looks like. I don't know what it takes. What am I good at? What do I love? What does the world need? And how do I get paid for it? To me, those 4 help you unlock your passion. I often say to people, your passion is for you, your purpose is for others. Your passion makes you happy. But when you use your passion to make a difference in someone else's life, that's a service, that's a purpose.
So the question is not I can't, is either you don't want to and that's perfectly fine, then don't say I can't, just say I don't want to. Decide, commit. When you say, well, I can't, does that mean you don't know how to do it? Because you could go get the how-to. There's so much how-to on the internet. You could go find a way, you can take a program, go to an event, learn from a mentor, do something. You have the abilities.
So it has to be down that low, that literally is something in you that's at the core of your soul. But you don't find it unless you spend a lot of time with what you want to be in life. I can't give that to you. You can't give it to somebody. When you find your true passion in life, I want to be someone that I'm proud of. I want to look at myself in the mirror because I was so disappointed. That accountability mirror I talk about, I was so disappointed in what I saw every day. I didn't love myself.
And I feel ultimately his heart becomes flooded with love. And I can't think of a better message as we send you off today. To not only take risks, but to be open to life, to accept new views, and to be open to new opinions. While it may be frightening, it will also be rewarding. Because the chances you take, the people you meet, the people you love, the faith that you have, that's what's going to define you.
Wow. 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 That one, my heart is up. I'll go when I listen to that one, I'm sure you can probably hear a little choke up in my voice, but I get so wrapped into that because I feel like there's so many aspects in there that just resonate because it just catches me. And I really hope that it catches you guys too, and that you really were paying attention, because there's just these little gems throughout it all. And I want to cover and follow up with just a few with you guys to where, hey, we're going to close it up, wrap it up. But I want you guys to really, really think again, what you tell you, what you tell you. Here, let me share my screen again. And it's just a few things that I caught that really resonate with me are successful people are rewarded in public for what they practice years in private. This right here, this is activity that we're doing in private. Many people out there, they don't know that we're on a leadership call on a Saturday evening. There's so many other places you could be. But these are the small things that we do in private, the daily calls with Mr. Thomas, the trainings we listen to in the, on YouTube. Go back to the channel, listen to those ones that repeat, us taking notes, going to Saturday leadership, listening in on other Zoom calls, all these things that we do that it's just molding us into the successful leaders that we aspire to be. So that right there really resonated with me. The other thing that resonated with me was change is automatic. Change is automatic. Change is going to come regardless, we're ever changing. Change, the most consistent thing in life is change, but progress is not. And so to make real progress, you've got to take control of the process. You've got to take control of what you say to yourself. You've got to take control of what you do day in and day out. So if you want to make that real progress, you've got to make those changes and take control of your process. And then the final one here, and they said it a couple of times, but it hits me so hard every time. 75,000 thoughts per day. 91% are identical to yesterday, the day before, the day before. But the real question is, what will you do with the 9% of those thoughts? And that's really what I want to leave you with. What will you do with the 9%, those 675 thoughts that are different each day? What are you going to do with those? Are you going to try to keep them, are those going to be the thoughts that are, I can't, I won't, I'll wait, or are those going to be the ones that I'm going to at least try? You don't have to say you're going to, just start with a try. I'm going to try, I'm going to attempt. So make those, you can start to change those every single day. So so all I want to leave you with is, what are you going to do with those 675 thoughts that are going to be different each day? And just be cognizant of what you tell you. And that's all I really had. Let me share with you guys the link to the video as well, so you can access that. It's in the chat there. So feel free, save that link if you want. I believe I saw someone ask for it. I think that was Deborah R. that was asking for it. So yep, definitely save that one. I have that one kind of as one of my favorites. So when I go to YouTube, boop, that one is the easy one to access. And I the way that I operate is, if I'm headed in, I'll play it as I'm going there in the car instead of listening to music. Thinking music's upbeat, that's the thing that motivates me and gets me going and gives me the strength I need to talk to the people that maybe, are high achievers or successful people. It gives me just that little boost to bring that positive to the moment. So did anybody have anything else, anything they wanted to add to it, or maybe some other questions or statements that they say themselves, or any things they've also heard? Definitely, I believe you should be able to unmute yourselves, but that's all I wanted to cover with you guys. Spot on, 8:30. Look at that, 30-minute training. So I hope this was really helpful for anybody. And again, just think, what are you going to do with that 9%?